The Trump administration is finding an 11th hour solution to make sure active duty service members get paid today. Unfortunately, many military families and veterans are preparing to turn to food banks when food stamps benefits run out tomorrow. Brooke Taylor is live for us in Dallas. So, Brooke, civilian families feeling it too. Our focus right now on where you are.
Hi, Harris. Well, first off, everyone loves payday, and thankfully military members woke up and they got paid today. But there is growing anxiety that that could stop soon. The Armed Services YMCA is seeing a massive surge right now as many troops brace for the possibility of not getting paid. Lines stretch outside of a food pantry we visited in Killeen, Texas, right near Fort Hood, with soldiers, their families, and young children waiting for those doors to open. The CEO of the national nonprofit says demand at these pantries has jumped 30 to 70% since the government shutdown started. The biggest uptick right now is happening in areas where there's a lot of these junior enlisted service members. Many of them live paycheck to paycheck.
Many folks are deployed right now overseas from Fort Hood or from other locations. And the last thing you want to have when you're deployed overseas is be worrying about the next paycheck and how do you take care of your family who are back wherever they live in the U.S.
The CEO says the majority of service members are motivated to serve their country and make a difference, not by money. In fact, many families are struggling already. Check this out. The starting base salary for an entry-level soldier is just over $25,000, and a 6-year staff sergeant makes less than $50,000, not including bonuses and other benefits. Well, the Trump administration tapped into different funding streams to make sure that all troops got paid today. But there is uncertainty about how long that's going to last, and Republicans are blaming Democrats.
I know that the Trump administration is desperately trying to figure out how we pay the men and women that are serving our country. Unfortunately, Chuck Schumer, this could be solved if he just would allow a number of his members to support opening the federal government. But he's so scared of primaries from the far left that he is willing to hold not just our service members, but the American people hostage.
And thousands of active service members also depend on food programs like SNAP that are set to run out tomorrow, Harris.
All right, Brooke, thank you very much. You have served. You know, I'm the child of a military officer, a combat pilot. We see things a certain way in this instance. They continue to serve no matter what, because that is their job and they will not walk away from it.
Yeah, my father was career Army, went to Vietnam, and it was the proudest thing he did outside of his family. And you're right, they're going to serve. They enlist, they serve to protect us. And this is the part of this game that it's at some point you say, okay, in D.C., you know, it's gone too far. And I honestly believe that Democrats are just playing the blame game, just hoping that with the help of the media, the public will blame Republicans and Donald Trump. And I think that's unfortunate now that especially it widens out and starts to affect a lot of people beyond non-essential workers. It's ridiculous. It's unnecessary.
Well, look, one of the things, Rosanna, that viewers are coming up to me and asking about is this idea of if they can't talk to each other and everything is on the line, what does it look like when it's not? And this is a lot of watching the sausage making, and people don't need to see this much, they tell me.
You know, politics has really gone so crazy in D.C., and I keep thinking, if these legislators had their paycheck taken away during this period, would we have come to a resolution a lot quicker? Why can't we do that? I think that would make them come to the bargaining table and settle this a lot quicker. But, you know, I keep thinking about the people who are affected. You know, we send these men and women overseas to fight for our freedoms, and then they come back to an empty refrigerator. I mean, this is not about politics. This is about values. It's terrible what's going on.
I want to keep it there. When this came up at Sean Hannity's town hall last night, he looked at me and he looked at the audience and he said, we should all go out this weekend and help. You know, Table to Table is large in our state, but there are food pantries and banks across the country that they're amazing organizations, and they can do so much. And any kind of way that we can help in this point, We grew up on military posts. We know we jump in. And I know Americans are awesome and that they will do what we can this weekend. But that's what this is about, Marie.
I mean, so let's talk about SNAP. I agree with you, actually, Harris. I think people should spend this weekend. Everyone's going to go trick-or-treating tonight, give out candy, like actually go help in your community. But on SNAP, the administration currently holds about $5.5 billion in the SNAP contingency fund that covers just about half of November's benefits. So it is clear that Republicans and Democrats are not going to agree on something in the next 24 to 48 hours. The Trump administration today could use those contingency funds, like have been used in the past, to make sure that people don't go hungry. They could do that today. The second thing I would say about SNAP, when you realize how many Americans rely on it for their monthly, weekly, monthly food bills.
42 million.
That is also incredibly depressing to me, that inflation is still too high, food is still too expensive. People are relying on this government program, which I think is a fantastic program, but the goal should be to continue growing the middle class to get inflation down so people don't rely on a government benefit. And that's not happening right now. So look, Democrats...
Well, that wasn't happening in the last 4 years
Democrats have said anytime, any place, they will negotiate with Trump and the White House and congressional Republicans to reopen the government. The Republicans just want the Democrats to cave. And that's not
that actually isn't true. Chuck Schumer has voted to pass the bill just like the one in front of him 13 times.
The Republicans are not negotiating with Democrats. They just want to force Democrats. And Democrats have said, you need our votes.
It's the other way around.
Talk to us.
It's the other way around.
Trump refuses to talk to them.
That emergency money they could do, but you just said it runs out in November. We don't know how long this is going to go. This ties with the longest shutdown in history on Monday.
Let's make sure people are not hungry now, and the Trump administration could do that now.
Well, I think that's something that we could all agree on, is that this issue of military pay is the single issue that should get Republicans and Democrats together to reopen the government, not holiday travel, which is probably what it's going to be, but this specific issue. Thankfully, the Pentagon was able to shift some funds around so they'll get this paycheck now. But the fact that that was even a question.
And a donor.
Yes.
Massive.
And a donor. And it was a question mark when, like you said, Rosanna, that Congress was getting paid is one of the reasons why the congressional approval rating is so low. I mean, they got to get together and figure this thing out now.
Is it reality that House members would not get paid this point? I mean, all the focus right now is on the senators. So that part of the chamber, yes, the other one, no. What is the reality on that?
I'm not 100% sure, but I do agree if they have skin in the game, not just stop them from getting paid, but stop them from trading the stock market with all the insider knowledge. Both sides. They're raking us on the coals. They're all becoming millionaires, and that's why they don't give a damn.
Agreed.
Okay, well, let's stop there.
Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Laura Ingraham. This is the Ingraham Angle. Thanks, as always, for spending some time with us. And hi to all you ghosts and goblins. It's October 31st. So how did our president dress up for Halloween? Like Trump.
Okay. Happy Halloween and all of that.
I love that, and all of that. Look, he's got a lot on his plate. We still have to make sure China lives up to its big promises. He's awaiting a Supreme Court ruling on tariffs that could make or break our economy. And, of course, he's still dealing with the Democrats keeping the government closed. But it's clear that he's had enough of their politics.
I don't know what's wrong with them. They've never done a thing like this. They've become crazed lunatics. All they have to do is say, let's go, let's open up our country, and everything snaps back into shape. So there's something wrong with them. I'm always going to meet. All they have to do is open up the country. Let them open up the country, and we'll meet. We'll meet very quickly. But they have to open up the country. It's their fault.
Landing in Palm Beach this afternoon, just a day after he returned from racking up his trade wins in Asia, the president emphasized that Republicans want this resolved, like yesterday. But they're not going to allow Democrats to take the entire country hostage to do it.
But the Republicans are very unified. They're very strong. And they want to do what's right for the country. They don't want to see trillions of dollars wasted on people that came into our country illegally, many from prisons and many from areas that you don't want to even know about.
What I like most about the president's brief remarks today, he also showed a willingness to address the root cause of the problems in health care, which is basically Obamacare really stinks.
Obamacare has turned out to be a disaster, as I've been saying for years. It can be fixed or redone. People don't get good health care, and their premiums go up every single year. So we should change it. It's a disaster. Obamacare is bad health care at a very high price.
Bad health care at a very high price. It's ration care. He is 100% correct about that. Again, he's always willing to take on the big problems, never shying away from them like so many politicians do. Meanwhile, the Democrats are wrestling with their own identity crisis because, of course, Chuck Schumer is afraid that AOC is going to primary him. He's bowing to the party's left flank on every issue that matters. Most importantly, the vote to reopen the government. For 31 days, you can't believe that, actually, 31 days it's been closed. And now the hour of reckoning is upon us. 42 million food stamp recipients in America were set to lose their benefits tomorrow. But two federal judges today ruled that the program must continue and that contingency funds will be used. I'm not sure which contingency funds, but there you have it. But Democrats, they don't care whether this gets funded or not, because all they want to do is keep riding the shutdown train through Tuesday's elections, trying to help their terrible candidates in Virginia and New Jersey. Meanwhile, if Freddy Krueger had a sister and she were in politics, that's who Kamala would be dressing up as this week, because she's out there haunting her party back from the political grave. Beware, because Kamala's coming back. She won't go away.
Are you kidding me? This guy wants to create a ballroom for his rich friends while completely turning a blind eye to the fact that babies are going to starve when the SNAP benefits end in just hours from now? Come on. So what? I'm not going to be distracted by, oh, does the guy have a big hammer? What about those babies?
Is she drinking? I don't know. What is that? She's still talking about the ballroom? Really? It's being built with private money, sweetheart. Her comments make zero sense. Not even worth talking about. Think about the state, though, we'd be in, our entire country would be in, if she and Dougie were in the White House. Imagine her sitting across the table from President Xi.
I met with over 150 world leaders, presidents, prime ministers, chancellors, and kings. I've negotiated very important deals and issues on behalf of the American people.
And I'm going to draw a Venn diagram to try to explain it all to you. She's negotiated what exactly? Name one deal. Well, besides the deal to kick Joe off the ticket and install herself, her lame self, as the party's nominee. Now, yesterday, doing the tedious rounds on various podcasts, Kamala revealed her true feelings about children as well. Basically, that they're too stupid to know how dumb she is. They'd be her electoral saviors.
I think we should reduce voting age to 16. Gen Z, their age about 13 through 27. They've only known the climate crisis, and I think we must invest in them. But I think that they are rightly impatient with a lot of what is the tradition of leadership right now.
Well, they're becoming more conservative by the day. We do know that. Has she not been seeing the voting trends? Any of the turning point events? She's totally checked out. Trump's locked in. Democrats are falling apart. And the GOP is sticking together. For young voters, older voters, black, white, brown voters, the choice should be simple. Common sense economic policy, a tight border, and strengthened military, or Democrats' wide-eyed socialism, open borders, and a weakened military. The choice is obvious.
Then there's the no kings fear.
President Trump, we don't want you or any other king to rule us.
We will never surrender. So Donald Trump, stay the hell out of Chicago.
Donald Trump is not a king. Donald Trump is a bully.
Trump does think that he's a king, and he thinks that he can act more corruptly when the government is shut down.